a lot of my reptiles are named after some of my favorite, funniest people. So of course, there's a Stephen Courtney, there's a Bigsby, and then there's a Fred, and there's a Lisa Landis.
Lisa Landis and Lisa Landis.
Yeah, Fred actually, the story of Fred, he was actually found abandoned walking around Ephrata, well, slithering around Ephrata. So Fred was found slithering around Ephrata, and someone saw him and said, well, you're white. Fred's an albino corn snake. So Fred saw him and said, well, you're really white. You don't look like you're from the wild. So they figured it was a pet, and they brought it into our reptile rescue.
Okay.
So in Lisa Landis, she actually came to me from a friend who was getting sick and couldn't keep his reptiles anymore. So Lisa Landis is actually special to me,
And she looks great. Really got her shape back after those 8 hatchlings.
Yeah. The neat thing, she's called an Okatee corn snake. Okatee corn snakes have like bright reds and oranges and blacks, and on their bellies it's like black and white Scotch checkers.
Cool.
So she's a huge Supertones fan.
And are the corn snakes the ones that look like the king snakes?
No, the corn snakes don't look too much like the king snakes. Are you thinking of the coral snakes that can look?
Coral snake.
Yeah,
that's what I was.
Yeah,
thinking.
that's right. The coral snake's the most venomous species in the United States. It's from the same families as cobras and mambas. It actually has a powerful neurotoxic bite.
You're losing your mic there. It looks like Lisa Landis is trying to take your mic
over.
away. That same thing happens to you.
So,
if somebody wants to have a snake, like a Lisa Landis snake, a Stephen Courtney snake, or a Fred snake, tell us some of the qualifications. What are some things you want to talk about or think about or educate about prior to getting a snake?
Sure. If you're thinking about getting a pet reptile, the 2 main things you want to consider is the adult size and the adult lifespan. You want to find out if you don't want someone who's going to outlive you, don't get a turtle or a tortoise. They could live over 100 years. You want to make sure it's not going to outgrow its welcome. So stick with something like a corn snake, or there's a small python called a ball python, versus if you get a Burmese python, that's about a 20-footer, a red-tailed boa constrictor, that's about a 10-footer. Certainly don't get anacondas and alligators unless unless you're ready to flood your basement and give them the full run of the place.
Now, how about, I have here in my computer, it looks like the gecko's found the warm spot, but we also have this big guy over here. Who's he?
Yeah, that is Monty. He's one of our savanna monitor lizards. In the monitor lizard families, it's a family of about 50 species of meat-eating carnivorous lizards found all over Africa and Asia and Australia.
What was that?
Somebody just called Jesse on the phone, and it sounds like the wild.
Yeah.
It's the call of the wild.
Yeah, exactly. So, so he's a monitor lizard. He's a cousin of the Komodo dragon, the world's biggest lizard. All he eats is meat. That's why you see that long forked tongue sticking out. Everywhere he goes, he'll stick out that long forked tongue. And of course, that's his sense of smell. It's forked at the end. It gives him a sense which direction the smell is coming from.
We're celebrating a Reptile Awareness Day with our friend Jesse from Forgotten Friend. Visit him online, forgottenfriend.org. If you're looking for a special presentation for your vacation Bible school, your Sunday school, your school, your library, anything, Jess does a fantastic job, and his reptiles are easy to get along with, as well as proven by Fred the snake being wrapped around my shoulders here for the past 15-20 minutes. So, Jess, thanks for visiting us today. It was great having you stop by.